Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today I wanted to do a kind of revisit and a new discussion talking about the state of ranked mode and the state of matchmaking and some of the bigger issues that I have with the game. Now, last night on stream, and this is where a lot of my ideas come from, just having conversations with y'all on stream, so definitely make sure you stop by the stream sometimes. I usually stream most days at 8 p.m. Eastern. We were just talking about the game and the ranked mode and what needs to change. And I often get asked a lot, well, you complain about the ranked mode. People ask me, do you even enjoy the game? Why do you play it? Or what would you change? And to quickly note on that, yes, I enjoy the game a lot. I play the game 8 hours a day most days, probably 5 or 6 to 8 hours, somewhere in there. And I just think that there are some big things that need to see changes that would drastically increase the quality of the game, how fun the game could be, and how big the game could even get, in terms of keeping players and having fun and having longevity in terms of the long run. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So there are going to be some things that I throw in at the end that I definitely think are worth sticking around for, but the initial thoughts are the very simple things that I've been saying for quite a while now. So again, this is kind of a revisited topic, so if you've already kind of heard these opinions or this isn't for you, I totally understand. But the first thing that needs to be done for the ranked mode is to change, fix, redo matchmaking. Matchmaking, I want to really explain this position though. Matchmaking is essentially a set of parameters or rules that this computer program has, which is the system behind making a game, to create a match with 10 people. That's what matchmaking is. It's a computer program. It's just a simple programmed set of software and understandings, and it has parameters. It has rules. So the matchmaker has been given these rules, and then it creates a game with 10 people. That's what the matchmaking is. Now, when I say they need to fix matchmaking or rework matchmaking, what I'm really saying is that they need to create better matches. Well, what does better matches mean? Because better is a pretty subjective term. I mean matches of much better skill. The matches need to be tighter. The matchmaking needs to be tighter. It needs to be closer in skill. So when I play a game with 10 people, I don't want the skill ranges to be anywhere from really, really good players to really, really bad players in one match. And to be completely honest, no matter what rank you are, that's kind of what you're going to get. Well, if you're a really low rank, you're just going to have really bad players. But that's kind of what happens right now. So I think it's really simple to throw out this kind of this fix matchmaking kind of rhetoric, but without explaining it, that's a little confusing, and I wanted to go through that. So when I say fix matchmaking, it's about tightening the matchmaking in, really bringing things into where the people that are truly in your game are people that are in the same rank as you. In my personal opinion, I think that the matchmaking should try really hard to prioritize people that are within one full rank. So if you're Ultra 1, or your Ultra Class 1 or your Ultra Class 5, it should try to make a game within that set of parameters. That should be the rule. Now, if it's taken a little too long, I think if the matchmaking is taken say 3 minutes long, it could open up to a couple more classes, either downward or upward, so a little bit into Masters or a little bit down into Veteran. If it takes a little bit longer than that, maybe open up to being one full rank, so anywhere between full Ultra all the way to full Veteran, or full Ultra up into Masters entirely. That would be good. The tricky part about matchmaking is that it is a trade-off. There's no such thing as perfect matchmaking. The developers and the people that create the matchmaking system have a unique opportunity, or a unique challenge rather, of needing to create games in a quick way without it being so fast that the matches are terrible quality. Right now, we have a system that is creating games incredibly fast with very, very bad quality. And there's actually some issues that come along with this. One of the main issues that I see complained about in this game that people don't actually realize is actually specifically a matchmaking issue is how many points you get. And this is a bit presumptuous of me. I can't actually say this with 100% certainty, but I'm pretty certain. I'm about 95% certain that this is a matchmaking issue. So if I queue into a game and I'm a Masters player, let's say hypothetically I have 2 Masters players with me, an Ultra player on my team, and a Veteran. Well, the game tries to look at all of our rankings, and it creates this hypothetical average number. And so it looks at me as a player and it says, well, you're on the high end of this game, right? Like you're one of the Masters players. So when I lose that game, I lose a ton of points, especially if there's not even 3 Masters players. Like if, let's say I'm the only Master player, or I'm one of 2 Master players, I'm on the high end of that ranking average, and therefore I'm going to lose a lot of points when I lose. But when you win, it doesn't seem like that's the case. Like it seems like, oh, well, yeah, you were supposed to win. Like, yeah, you're on the high end of this game. Like you're supposed to win. So you only gain like a little bit of points. So that's a big problem with the ranked mode in itself. That also is kind of tied to matchmaking. I feel like that was really relevant to bring up here. So number one issue I think we have settled in now, matchmaking really needs to see some pretty profound changes. But to go hand in hand with this, changing matchmaking does not matter at all if we don't have more accurate ranks. So if you're in Masters and you're not a very good player, tightening the matchmaking will help, don't get me wrong, but it will not be like a full solution. So really what needs to happen is there needs to be a slight rework of the ranking system. Now, what does that mean? What do I mean by that? Well, I need the ranks, or I want the ranks to be more accurate to player skill. And the way that you do that is actually by tightening the matchmaking, because as players rank up, if they're playing with other people that are in that same rank as them, and it's, you know, like those games have been consistently match made well like that, then the players that you're playing against are of similar skill. But we've kind of passed that point. So in my opinion, I think that at some point we're going to have to see some kind of a light to medium rank reset. So let's say we go into Season 2. I'm Masters currently. I kind of want them to put me in either like expert or veteran. Now the reason why is because I need them to find a way to kick people out of high ranks while allowing us not to have to start completely over, because that's just kind of pointless. Like I would climb back up no matter what. But also to just get us out of there, tighten the matchmaking so now every single match is more accurately created, and the people who are consistently winning will actually climb up, and the people who don't consistently win will stay a little bit pushed down. But that's just changing the matchmaking. How do you actually make it like a little bit harder to rank up? In my opinion, I think that every single rank should be a little bit wider. Like it should be longer to matchmake, or not to matchmake, to rank up. So, you know, the current system that we have is like anywhere between, 1 to 3 classes, 4 classes, or 5 classes per rank. I kind of think that they should just extend the full rank system out to being like 5 classes per rank. It would be longer, and that would be more of a time investment, which means that the people that are getting to the higher ranks are usually more dedicated, they play more, they're more consistent, they're the players that are, consistently being matched with other people of their skill, because the matchmaking changes would have would have already been made in this hypothetical scenario. And then over time, because it's harder, because it takes longer, and because we have more accurate matchmaking, the actual high-rank players would be actual high-rank players. So the reality of what I'm asking for, and this is kind of the ugly side of this discussion, is that there is a very large percentage of the player base that are currently in Masters that really have no business being in Masters. And there's no simple way of putting it, and again, for the sake of saying that might be myself included, there's no simple way of putting it, but we really need to eradicate this issue. We need to have them find a way to more accurately place us in a rank. We need to have them find a way to make it harder for us to rank up, create better quality of matches because it's harder to rank up, and because the matchmaking has a new set of parameters, making it, way less of a swinging, wide open door for anyone to step into a game. And we need to have them consistently, allowing for good games to happen. I don't know where I was going with that last sentence part. We need for there to be consistently good, well-made matches. The reality of ranked is that ranked is not meant for only good players. There's a reason why ranks like beginner, great, and expert exist. Those ranks are meant for people of those skill levels. So if you're not a good player, there's often, and I've talked about this in the past, there's often a rhetoric that goes around of if you're not good at ranked, don't play ranked. No, I completely disagree. The problem with ranked right now is that the system allows for players to rank up with a 50% win rate or less at times, and you can actually essentially lose your way or stumble your way into the highest ranks. the reason why it feels bad to play as a good player and to get bad teammates on your team is because you're actually, like, you've relinquished control. You don't have a choice. You have to try to hard carry them, and it's just not a good game. The games that you're getting into are not well-made games, and if this was standard, no problem, right? Who cares? It's just a standard game. There's nothing on the line, no stakes, and you just play and you have a good time. But that's not what we're at. So that's why a lot of this needs to change. Now, there's still a couple more things that I think could change, and one of them I'm honestly on the fence about because I don't really know what the implications of changing this system too much would be like, and I'm not actually sure what the implications of leaving the system alone would be, and that's performance points. Performance points are a system that I'm terribly uncomfortable with, but I don't actually think it's as bad as I think it is. Now, let me explain my perspective on performance points, and then we can maybe have some dialogue in the comments about what y'all think about it, because honestly, I'm still searching for my true opinion on this. My issue with performance points is that they are just this weird, like, outside of the game / inside of the game, like, system that is meant to reward players for doing well, but it, like, pulls the attention away from winning and losing, and I don't really know what all influences performance points in terms of getting more performance points, but I just feel like it's this fluff system that just adds inflation to the game. Now, what do I mean by, adding rank inflation, or what is rank inflation? Well, rank inflation is, like, the influence of a system or something in the game that essentially pushes players higher or lower based on outside factors other than winning and losing. In my opinion, most of the good rank systems that I've seen across all of my years of gaming have been win-loss systems. And the reality is that there will be games where you have bad teammates or your team just isn't performing well and you're going to lose. That's going to happen. It's going to happen to every single player in the game. So having some kind of system to offset that, it just feels really, like, weird and dystopian to me because everybody experiences that. And while everybody would have this performance-based system, I think that it does more harm than good because it just allows for players to get, like, these little handouts, right? And the reality is I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think that performance points are, like, pushing people up full ranks or anything, but it just slightly adds to the fluff. Like, it slightly changes the true results of these games. Like, if you lose a game and performance points saves you from losing one of your little stars or your little diamonds, it's not that big a deal, but you can't deny that it does make some kind of a difference because that adds up over time and over lots and lots, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of players. So any little outside influence other than just being able to win and consistently climb, to me, feels like it doesn't really have a place in the rank system, but I also don't feel like it's that terrible. So, like I said, drop me a comment, let me know what you think about that. Now, last but not least, and my final opinion about the ranked mode and how it could be improved is, and this is a very strong opinion, there is zero room, no conversational topic. I don't even want to read your comments. No, I'm just kidding. But I really don't think there is any room in the world for there to be bot matches in ranked. There is absolutely 100% no reason for there to be bot matches in ranked. Now let me explain. The entire purpose, at least my perception of it is, the entire purpose of a ranked mode is to quantify and to measure a human being's skill versus other players of their own skill rating. What is the point of giving me a bot match because I've been losing? What is the point of inflating the ranks by allowing people to end their loss streaks with a free game? It is nonsensical. It is something that this has absolutely no place in the ranked mode. This leads directly to rank inflation. Instead of having a player who's performing poorly and actually allowing them to fall down the ranks, which we should all be comfortable knowing that that's possible. Every single player that plays ranked should be comfortable knowing that some players shouldn't be climbing all the time. Ranked is not a system for everyone to hit the highest rank. Rank is a system for players that deserve to rank up to hit the highest rank, and for players that are trying to improve, to play to improve. It's not just about being the highest rank, and I think that gets lost sometimes because we all have these individual personal biases where we want to be as high as possible, and we do, I get that, but it should be about the journey and the destination. It should be about playing and improving and truly trying to become the best player that you can be in order to achieve that oh so sweet master rank. So friends, I pass it to you. Let me know your thoughts on this whole discussion. Like I said, we've done this a couple of times, I feel like, at least, you know, in streams and on videos. But this is currently, in my opinion, the biggest issue with Pokemon Unite. There's some balance issues. Venusaur's OP, you know, there are items that are completely useless, and we haven't had any kind of a balance patch in a little bit. And, you know, items are, you know, some items are ridiculous, like Buddy Barrier, but in my personal opinion, this is the biggest issue in the entire game. So I would love to hear your thoughts. As always, friends, drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Pokemon Unite content. I definitely do appreciate you. Be sure to be kind to one another. Tell someone that you love them. And I'll see you on the next video.